tricks. It's really easy to learn, it's got a great effect, and it only needs one sleight of hand. Just one. Now, I'll tell you about that when we get into the tutorial, but for now let's just see the trick. So, I have 6 cards. At the start of the trick I would let the spectator inspect them, make sure they're not gimmicks, but there's no spectator here, it's just the camera. So look, you can see there's 6 cards here, they're all from the same deck, there's nothing dodgy about them. You can see, so I've got the 6, the 9 and the 8 of spades, and I've got the 6, the 9 and the 8 of hearts. So 3 red and 3 black. I take the 3 black cards, I'll just set them down here, you can see, and I'll take the red cards and just set them down there. You see, the reason this is called oil and water, this card trick, is because no matter how much you mix oil and water, you can shake it as much as you want, it's always going to separate if you leave it some time. And let's just say that the black cards here are oil, and the red cards here are water. Just watch, if I mix them, there's some oil mixed with water, and some oil and water, mix some more oil, and mix some more water. Square it up, you see no dodgy moves here. I just let the cards do their thing, let them separate, and you'll see that actually they have separated. I'll do it again, look, I've got 3 red cards, 3 black cards, you can see they're literally all from the same deck. I'll take the red cards, I'll take the black cards, just set them down here, and the red cards, set them down here. And I'll spread the black cards out, just like this. I'll take the red cards, and just put them between the black cards, just like this. See, just like that. Put that on top. Square it up. No dodgy movements here. Just bring it into the middle for you to see. Completely normal deck. No extra cards, and you'll find. Just snap my fingers. Let them separate. And that's just what they do. So it's a really great trick. If you want to learn how to do it, watch the tutorials coming up next. So this is how to do the tutorial for the trick I just showed you, oil and water. Like I said at the beginning of the performance, it's really easy to do, really easy to learn, only one sleight of hand, and we'll come on to that in a second. So I like to start with the cards nice and openly on the table and let the spectator, or sometimes even encourage the spectator, to have a look through them, make sure they're not gimmicks, make sure they're just normal cards and you've got only those cards, because this is a trick where people expect, if you hadn't shown them that before, after the trick people would expect that you had extra cards, but no, that you're completely clean on this trick. It's literally just 3 red cards and 3 black cards. The way you can do this as well is you can do with 3 red backed cards and 3 blue backed cards, and then have the faces and then use jokers for all of them or something, but not a lot of people don't have that many decks, so using the hearts and the spades works. I like to use the 9, the 8 and the 6 because they've got lots of colour on them, which makes them really visual. You could use the 10 as well, that also has lots of colour on them. I like to use higher value cards that have loads of colour. I like to avoid using face cards though for this. Okay, so the first thing you do is you have them laying out on the table, you let the spectator look at them, make sure they're just normal. Then you pick up the red cards and put them on top of the black cards. It's very important that you put the red cards on top of the black cards, or whatever you're using as water, on top of oil. So water always needs to go on top of oil to start with, otherwise the trick simply won't work. So the next thing you do is you just fan out the cards. So while they're on the table, don't specify what cards they are. Only specify that you've got 3 red cards and 3 black cards when you fan them out in your hand, because it'll seem a bit dodgy if you do it twice. So you show I have the 3 red cards and 3 black cards. This is where the sleight of hand comes in. You turn them over, grabbing these 2 red cards with this thumb and separating this last one. Turn them over just casually and say, look, they're all blue backed cards, they're all from the same deck, they're not gimmicks. And what you do is you use this as an excuse to, when you turn the back over so that they're out of sight like this, you use this as an excuse to just get this top card, which would otherwise be here, under here, so it's like this. You'll see why we do that in a second. So this is what it would normally look like. You'd say, if you didn't do the sleight of hand, you'd say, they're all just normal cards. This is what you do instead. They're all just normal cards, and put that there. Don't do this too early, because if they see you do that, that would just look a little bit dodgy. So you want to do it like when you're like here, or at least try and divert the attention away. So you want to slip this card, instead of at the top like this, you want to slip it underneath the other 2 red cards. If you're finding it hard to get it in here, and it's going on top of the black cards here, or it's clashing with it, you can always kind of push these black cards down and release pressure with your 3rd finger, and that will make a pocket, but that's not really necessary. So once you're at this position, you've made so if I get rid of the black cards, you can see it's like this, and you've made a nice little pocket here. You're going to use this to put some of the black cards in, and that's really what sets you up for the trick. So you've got this position, you're back over here, and you take away the black cards and say, look, you don't have to take away the black cards, but take them by a bit so that they're not over the pocket, and say, look, I've got 3 black cards. If you want to divert the attention, you can specify it's the 9, the 8, and the 6 of spades. Where the sleight of hand really happens is when you square it back up, this top black card, so in this case it's the 6 of spades, goes into this pocket, and the other 2 go above to cover for it. So this top black card goes underneath this bottom red card in this pocket that you formed earlier, and these other two go over the top. It's really not that tricky. With a bit of practice, you can do this with your eyes closed. It might seem unnatural at first, but with a little bit of practice, it will just be second nature. And really, it just looks normal. It just looks like that. You're squaring it up. So from the top, if you're looking at it like this, if you do it all, take the cards, put that there, explain you got the black cards, square it up again, but put this under. If you're finding that you're not really getting it under and it's not really flowing very nicely, it's clashing a lot, you can push down on the back red card with the black card. You can push down, and that really makes a nice hole there, but you don't have to do that. So you put that under and put these other 2 black cards over, square it up, do it really casually. They wouldn't really be expecting the sleight of hand to happen there. They wouldn't even really think the trick started. They'll think you're just showing them what cards you have, which you really are. Anyway, once you've done that, that should leave you with this setup, which is a red card, a red card, a black card, a red card, a black card, a black card. But you don't want to show them this, so you just square it up and then turn it over. Then they think you've got the 3 red cards here at the front and the 3 black cards at the back. They think the order is like this, but it's not. So what you do is you fan off the top 3 cards, and from here it's really all set up for the rest of this first part of the trick. So you fan off the top 3 cards, and you just put them down casually, and then you can just go like, oh yeah, these are the black cards, and flash the top card. Make sure you don't fan off the cards and go, this is the black pile, because you've got a red card at the bottom and then 2 black cards at the top. So you want to fan off these 3 cards, just set them down casually. So just a bit like this. I have the black pile, just tell them you have the black pile, but don't rub it in their faces, and just flash the top card casually. Don't rub this in their faces, like I say. Don't try and force on them that you have the black card. Just kind of let them know, and they will understand. If you force it on them, they'll just become suspicious. And then with the second pile, so you've taken off the top 3 cards, you have 3 cards here, and what you've really got is 2 red cards and a black card on top. So instead of setting this down and showing them it's the red pile, because really they'll see a black card there, you just go, and I have the red cards. There. And you set that down. Then, all you have to do is explain why the trick is called oil and water. If you want to see what to say, you can look back at the performance, but you just really got to say that no matter how much you mix it, it will always separate, and it's not really that tricky. You can make it up yourself if you want. So you say, I'll take the oil pile. Don't show them the card, just say I'll take an oil, a black. So you say the black cards are oil and the red cards are water. You say I'll take an oil, and I'll take a water, and I'll take an oil, and I'll take a water, and I'll take an oil, and then a water. And from here you can do whatever you want. You can let your spectator reveal this, but you just kind of have to let the cards separate. Well, separate. And then it should come like this. So, just quickly. So your setup's like this. Fan off the top 3 cards. Just put them down. This is the black pile. There. This is the red pile. There. And if this was face up, this is what it would look like. Let's quickly reverse these. It would look like this. You'd say, I have a black card. you'd be saying I have a black card, and then you'd be saying I have a red card, and then I have a black card, and then I have a red card, then a black card, then a red card. But what you've just seen there is that's not really what's happening. So you end up with this. Then for the second part of the trick, you just have to kind of repeat the first part, and then the rest is showmanship. So you take the red cards, put them on top, because the water or the red cards always have to go on top to start with. You show again, you say like, trust me, these are seriously, they are normal cards, and then you just put that in there. This time the only difference is you put all the black cards into this fold. So instead of just putting one and then the other two on top, you put all the black cards into this fold. So your setup would be red, red, black, 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 red. The only thing with this is it can look a bit obvious if you leave the other red card out jogged. Like, I'll show you what I mean. So you show them these. If you leave this card here, this one out jogged, meanwhile squaring all the black cards up under it, it can look a bit like they might notice that this card is below these. But if you do it quickly, they won't notice, and also if you kind of tuck this in a bit, they won't notice either. So it should look a bit like this. Trust me, they're just normal cards, you can see. You put that under there. Take these away, look, just normal black cards, square that up. And try not let, sorry, that was bad of me, try not let this kind of flash. Just try and do a clean square up. Turn it over. This time you fan off the three cards. Instead of placing it down and showing the top card, because in this case the top card's red, you just do what you did with the red cards last time. You fan off, square it up, make sure you don't flash, show the bottom card because it's black, because you got this set up now. Show the bottom card as black, and you show the bottom card as black, put that down, then you turn over this, show the bottom card as red, just like before, put that down. And then from here you can end it however you want. It's just showmanship. I think a nice way to end it is to say you're spreading out the black cards when in actual fact one of them is red, and you take the first one, the top card off this red packet, which is black. Don't show it, just say I'm going to take the first red card and put it there. And then for this next one, just casually like show them this. Don't say like, look, it's red, because then they'll be confused as to why you didn't show that one. Just go like this. You can even like flash it minorly, and then they'll think, oh, he flashed there and he wasn't even meant to see. But just kind of say, I'll take the next red card, and I'll take the last red card and put it on top. And really, you just square it up again, and the cards will, separate, and you can do whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, the trick is all really in that first sleight of hand, so you can do any reveals you want. You can do it completely differently, you can do it slightly differently, or you can do it completely the same. This is a variation of oil and water. It's not exactly the same, but I hope you liked it, and if you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating, thanks to all the rumors.